What we do here is go back.
Are you listening?
I'm not right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning. It's Drive Time with Dave. I'm Dave. I'll be your driver. Today is very exciting. I decided that I'm going to participate in Gary Vaynerchuk's 2017 challenge to make an extra $20,000. The challenge was to make $17. Extra money. Extra. And then save that extra money. And if you can do it this year, you can do it next year. You can follow up, and in 10 years you'll have saved $200,000. And then 10 years beyond that date, your standard interest rate of 5% will compound, your money will double. You'll have $400,000. The basic premise is make a little extra, save it, and have something in the long run. Or you make a little extra, you can invest that, that'll help you make a little extra, and so forth. And you just keep making extra and making more money, because that's the goal here. Making extra money. So, I thought that was a pretty good idea. So, with ideas in mind, everybody has ideas. Good or bad. The difference, or what makes a difference, is whether there's any execution. So, we take the 2017 Gary Vaynerchuk Challenge. Today's episode of Drive Time with Dave is sponsored by not Gary Vaynerchuk. So, the idea is good. Now, can it be executed upon, and by how many people? Can you actually execute on it and do it? So ideas, everybody's got really great ideas. I spent the last 2 days, people in meetings, in and out, and with me all day long, to the point where I couldn't even make any videos, even driving, because I had people with me. So by the time they were gone, I was just like, I got nothing left to say. I've got nothing. I'm completely drained, because a lot of what I've experienced in the last 2 days were, hey Dave, I'd really like to come and sit down with you. I've got some really good ideas I want to talk to you about. Oh goody, ideas. So, Mr. Idea Guy number 1 shows up. Hi, Idea Guy. How are you? So let's hear it. What have you got? Well, I got a bunch of these ideas, and I'm thinking about doing this. Yep. Everybody's got really good ideas. But again, I'm going to go back to, can they be executed upon? And how good of an idea are we talking about that you would want to invest the time or the money? And what happens if the idea is so big, it's so grand, that it would require other people's money? Well, the interesting part of an idea is what seems good on the outside. Is it possible that you've come up with something no one's ever come up with? Or you've come up with a better way to do it? Is it an original idea? Or are you just copying something that someone else has already done and you think you can make it better because it seems reasonable? Understanding the entire scope of the idea. So, in the case of Mr. Vaynerchuk, again, I'm bringing this up again because that was a good idea, simple enough to execute, that almost anyone with a little common sense and some drive and a little work ethic could pull off. Because the number, the $20,000 number, is not unreasonable. Make an extra $500 a week. Make an extra $400 a week. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And how can you do that? Well, you could sell, 40 items, and those 40 items you made, $13 after fees and shipping on them. There's your $400, right? Or you could sell 20 items for more money, so forth and so on. You could probably go out and wash 40 cars for $10 a piece and don't have to pay any fees and shipping and just made yourself an extra $400. Could you wash a car an hour, or are you going to spread that out over a 7-day period? Or how many cars in a month could you wash? I'm just using cars washing as an example. It's no different than if you decided wholeheartedly to go out and start mowing lawns. When you can sell yourself, you sell yourself on an idea and you're going to execute on it, and you're so determined, could you just go to all the neighbors in your neighborhood and go, hey, I want to wash your car for $10? And you do it. And suddenly in a couple days you've made yourself a couple $100. You're like, wow. Now, I'm not saying that you would do that and give up your full-time job or your reselling job, but the basic premise is, how easy is it to make extra money if you are determined, if you have the drive? Back to the ideas. So here's a really great idea, right? We're going to call this idea, well, it's a smart refrigerator, right? Smart refrigerator. So I'm sure a lot of people have heard about the basic premise of the smart refrigerator. A refrigerator that when you put whatever your item is in it, it has a scanner and it can scan the item, and so it knows what's basically an inventory in the refrigerator. And let's say it's a 6-pack of drinks, whatever kind of drinks, right? In my case, I happen to like Coke Zero. So it scans it and it knows I put 6 in there, and I drink 4. So it will do an internet reorder based on the premise of the Amazon reorder button. So Amazon already has this technology where you can tell them, this is the product that I use the most, and they send you this button. And it hooks up to your Wi-Fi at home, and you just tap it, and it'll do a reorder of whatever. They started it with laundry detergent. So if your refrigerator could do that, could reorder everything for you, wow, it would be amazing. That's a fantastic idea, right? Think about how much time that would save. So the greatest ideas are nothing more than how to save more time, your time, to free you up to do other things. The basic premise behind Uber is saving time. It's not about a ride, nor the car company Lyft. It's all about saving time. How efficiently can you get something done at the hands of another person that makes sense in relation to the cost of whatever that's going to be? So in this case, we buy a very smart refrigerator, and the smart refrigerator can keep up with our most of our groceries. That would be amazing. Now we're going to look at the execution of what it would take, the research, the development, the amount of money it would take to produce that. So who's going to execute it first? Well, somewhere between LG and Samsung, I'm sure. Somebody that already has, billions and billions of dollars and a good foothold on the marketplace. So if I hadn't followed up with that, you'd be thinking, wow, the refrigerator thing is a really good idea. I love it. And it would work beautifully. The execution of the idea. So when you look at ideas, and your friends, they like to talk to you about ideas, and some of them don't have any ideas at all, but some do, and they'll talk to you about those ideas, and you can evaluate those ideas based on the same concepts. The concepts of execution are always the same. It doesn't matter whether it's today or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Can you execute on it? Is it possible for you to do it within your current means? And that's where a lot of people fail with ideas, and they think they've come up with something that simply tens of thousands of other people have also thought about, and then nobody can execute on it. So my meeting went something like, I got this great idea, and unfortunately I have to tear the idea apart, because that's all I could do. Whether it was a good idea or not, I broke it down all the way to the point of what it's going to take for manufacturing, distribution. How much money are you going to make once all those things happen? Can you make a lot of money? Are you going to fill a void? Is it a need or a want? In the world of reselling, it was simple enough to say, I'm going to buy and sell. I'm not reinventing anything. Now my processes that I come up with are, based on my own points of view on how I want to get things done. And every day I learn about a reseller out there that's got some amazing process, something they've come up with that makes what they do super streamlined, and it's so easy. These are the things that I look at. How efficiently can we operate as a reseller? It's no different than the basic premise of ideas, execution, and saving time. Because that's all that matters to anyone is there a way to do this more efficiently? See? It's the basic premise right there. That's it. So every time you're thinking about a good idea, is that idea going to perform a function that's going to save time? So our tip for the day, when you want to buy and sell, and you want to save yourself some time, you can do all the research online. Today we have the greatest network of information ever. There is no time like the present to start reselling anything, because you can look something up and you can do all the research right on your phone in your hand, probably where you're watching this video. We have a lot of access to information, so there should be no excuse on I can't find anything, I can't look up brands, I can't figure out pricing. You really don't have to figure out very much. All the information is readily available. Apply yourself. Start reading. I know everybody, they don't process information the same way, and people will say, well, I'm just not good at reading. Well, somehow you had to learn something about brands, products, and pricing. And you probably did that by reading. So you might think that you're not a reader, but it turns out you actually are. Whether you've got a photographic memory and you just saw it somewhere and you just said, oh, yep, I'm going to remember that. Yep, that looks good. That's really what it comes down to. You have to be able to apply yourself. Do a little research, come up with products, make notes, and that's how you become a reseller. It's pretty simple. That was today's lesson. Because every day I'm asked, gosh, what do I buy and sell? Anything and everything. There's an outlet, there's a point of origin, except for Levi's. So I'm gonna throw that out there. Levi's will not sell directly to anyone unless you're a big box chain. Right? But you can still get Levi's from other sources, whether they're new or used. And I just thought I'd point that out there because I actually had someone, say, hey, you've said you can buy and sell anything, and most of it you can get from a manufacturer. And I said, and the key word there was most. Most I can get. Levi's you cannot get. Apple is another product that they're not going to deal with you directly, wholesale. As much as someone would love to be able to go, man, I want to be able to buy 10,000 iPads directly from Apple because they would sell so fast. And they would, and Apple knows it. Just like Levi's would, and they know it. So that's our lesson. It's time to apply yourself. Give yourself a reselling education. Look up products. Look at what other people are selling on eBay. Spend hours and hours and hours and hours reading, right? Some people say, oh, that's such a waste of time. Well, if it wasn't for all the hours and hours and hours and hours I spent reading, I wouldn't know what I know. Let's just say I would have spent the same amount of hours paying for some course or something monthly. So I'm paying some monthly reoccurring costs, right? I spent $2,500 on some course that's going to teach me how to sell on Amazon or teach me how to sell on eBay. No. Having someone provide you that direct information, you will not be able to gear the products to what you can understand. So, see, there is a little bit of a learning curve there, and then it's how you process the information, which goes back to everybody processes information differently. I process information differently than you, and you process it differently than me and everyone else. And that's how we come up with our own unique style and the way that we do things. I'm Dave, and this was Drive Time.